Hello. How's it going? So I am in my hometown and I am driving by. Things have changed so much, but I had a challenge that just popped into my head that I wanted to give you. And it requires me to show you a little something. All right. Things have really changed since I have grown up, but this is the playground of my old elementary school. Now, when I was going to school here, it looked nothing at all like this. Okay, let's be clear. This boring. Our playground was way more fun. But what I wanted to share with you today was a story because I feel like I am being led to talk more about fear. And so I want to tell you a story about when I was growing up, something I was afraid of. Yes, so like I said, this playground here now, I feel bad for these kids. This kind of sucks. This is really boring. So, over that way, there used to be this really cool little spaceship. And so it was pretty high up off the ground, and there were these stairs, this ladder that went straight up, and then you went over the edge into like this round circular thing, and there were two ways down. See, they don't have anything like this. They've got these like really boring slides. Anyway, and some swings. I don't even see a teeter-totter. These poor kids, they do not know what growing up is like. All right, anyway, there were two ways down from this spaceship. One, a slide, and two, these poles. Now, the slide, no problem. I would go down the slide. But the poles, I was afraid of them. So you were in this round, like, circular space on the spaceship, right? The deck of the spaceship, I should say. And then you had to lean out a little ways, not far, but a little ways. And there was just like nothing underneath you. There was just space. And then you had to grab a hold of the pole and then you slide down, right? So I was terrified. I did not like being up high, and I was afraid that like if I leaned out to grab a hold of the pole that I wouldn't be able to reach it and I would fall to the ground and splat on my face or kill myself or something. Anyway, what happened is my friends would be like, oh, trust us, Beth, you can do it. And then I had a couple of my classmates who were like, I'm going to stand right underneath you, and if you fall, I'll catch you. Well, I did not trust my classmates. Why? Because me and my classmates, we were the same size, and it didn't make sense to me. Now, I will say that these kids here on my old elementary school, they do have a basketball court. We didn't have that. But anyway, we did have like this nice area for kickball and dodgeball. This is really kind of like boring. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my car and finish up with this video. So, anyway, or do you guys want to take a tour? Let me see. It's all muddy over here. I don't think I want to walk all the way through. Anyway, so I really wanted to try it though. I wanted to try going down the pole, but I was afraid to admit that I was afraid to my parents. So one day I said to my dad, I want to go to the playground. And so he said, okay. So we went to the playground, and I said, okay, I'm going to go down the pole, but I want you to stand underneath the pole and catch me if I fall. And he said, okay. So lo and behold, what happened? My dad, I guess I'm going to take a little bit of a walk. This is so different from when I grew up here. They added an addition. Anyway, so my dad stood underneath at the bottom of the pole, and I leaned out and I slid down the pole, and I didn't fall. And then I ran up the ladder inside the deck of this little spaceship, and then I did the pole again, and I got comfortable with it. And I decided I didn't need the help of my dad anymore. So from there on out, every day at recess, I could go down the pole. Yeah, this is my old school. That's my old middle school. Yeah. This was kindergarten. I don't know if it still is kindergarten, but it was back in my day. So yes. So I no longer needed my father. I felt comfortable and confident that I could slide down the pole on this little spaceship on the school playground. So you're probably saying, okay, Beth, you've talked 5 minutes about the spaceship, but what is the point? Where's the challenge? I'm getting to that. Stick with me. So, have you ever felt at some point in your life this way with God, where you're like, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I need your help. I don't know how I'm going to make it through whatever it is. I don't know how I'm going to start my business. I don't know how I'm going to make it through raising my children. I don't know how I'm just going to make it through the day. I feel discouraged when they work. Whatever it is you need help with. Someone cheated on you or lied to you, or heartbreak, or someone did something traumatic to you like rape, right? You're like, how am I going to heal? I don't know. I need you to help me, right? And then God helps us, and then we're like, okay, God, thanks. Peace out, God. I feel good. I'm confident. I don't need you anymore. And we go along about our business until the next catastrophe, when we decide we need God again. And so if you're like me, maybe this is only me. If you're like me, you find yourself kind of like on this merry-go-round. You know how the horses go up and down like on the merry-go-round, but the merry-go-round also goes round and round. So your life and your relationships becomes kind of like this in the circle, repeating patterns up and down. You're all around, right? And you reach out to God when you need him, and then when you feel comfortable and confident that you've got it, you decide you're going to take over. There's mud all over the ground, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to walk through this again. All right. So here's my challenge. So it says in the Bible, if you have been struggling with having the successes that you want to have, and the happiness that you want to have, and the peace that you want to have in your life, in your relationships, even with yourself, I challenge you to never feel like you've got it, but to, even when you feel comfortable and confident, stay with God. Keep depending on him. Keep asking him for help, even when there are things that you feel comfortable and confident about. And I am, challenging myself with this too, because here's the thing. Our society, I'm just going to get back in my car and finish making this video. Our society, listen, feminism, for example, great. I'm not about women being barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, but feminism has made us as women feel like we're not successful unless we can be independent, strong, independent women. And then men, society has taught, well, get your weight up. Get your weight up. Oh, stop crying. Get your weight up. What is that? That's how we end up on the merry-go-round, going up and down and all around, repeating patterns. Success followed by a failure. Success followed by a failure. Up, down, all around. It says that God tells us, Jesus says to his disciples, unless you come like little children, you will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Now, that means that here on earth, we are still supposed to have a version. It's not heaven. It's not going to ever be perfect. But we are supposed to not be constantly going up and down and all around. With Jesus, we consistently have stability. Now, God is big, right? I'm small. My father was a little bit bigger for me, But God is even bigger. So going back to the playground story, I didn't trust myself because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't trust my friends because they were the same size to catch me. I trusted my father because he was a little bit bigger than me. And so I knew that he could handle my weight. If I fell, he could catch me. But my father has limits too. He's only so big. He's only so big, and he only has so much knowledge, and he only has so much wisdom. But God is bigger, and not only bigger, he is the biggest. So if we always go through life, this is my challenge to you. If you go through your day-to-day life with God and trusting him to catch you every day and hold you up and help you, then you've got the biggest, most powerful source of the entire universe right there with you, ready to catch you, ready to help you, keeping you calm. When I was on the playground, when my father was standing at the base of the rocket ship, right, at the pole of the rocket ship, I wasn't afraid. I had no fear. I remember being at peace. I remember feeling calm. I did it without even thinking twice. And that's what God does for us. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. When we rely on him, when we trust him daily, we can keep our peace. Instead of having our peace one moment, then being like, well, I'm a strong, independent woman, or, well, I'm a man, I got to keep my weight up. And then trying to do it on our own, and then getting in another situation where we're like, uh-oh, help, I need help. The help's already there. If we have our focus on God, we don't have to worry about going back out to get help from him and asking him for help, because he's right there with us. We're focusing on him, not the scary, I have to lean out and grab this pole and slide down, right? He's there with us. So that is my challenge, is not to just try to rely on your own independence, not just to try to rely on your own strength, but really to rely on God, on Jesus, because that helps us to maintain our peace. And that is one way that we can achieve success consistently in life. Now, life is not perfect. Even Jesus had problems in life, right? He had situations come up. If he didn't have any problems, he wouldn't have found himself on a cross, right? Nailed to a cross, right? He had people who made fun of him, who mocked him, right? Not everyone was his fan. He had a lot of fans. He also had a lot of haters, right? So it's not like his life was perfect. But what would he do? He would go daily. A lot of the time, he leaves his disciples to go off in prayer and to be by himself with God, right? He, even though he was the Son of God, kept his focus on his Father. How do you think Jesus kept his peace among all the chaos that was going on? He didn't leave his Father. Now, when he was on the cross, because he had to die for our sins, it does say that God, with great sorrow, turned his face away from his son. That was part of the plan, right? That did have to happen, but that was a one and done thing. And that was something that Jesus did, right? God is not going to turn his face from you or from me ever, unless we reject him and we're like, I don't want you. And even then, even in our rejection, when we say, oh God, I don't really want you, I don't really need you, he still is waiting for us and will find ways to reach us, to bring us and draw us back to him, because he is a father and he loves us. So now I'm starting to get a little bit off track, but even when we reject him, right, he's going to let us go. And so it might feel like he's abandoned us, right? And sometimes he does test us, right? Sometimes he does test us and he'll be quiet and wait to see what we'll do. You know, are we going to freak out or are we going to trust him? What are we going to do? But he's never going to, you know, like actually turn his back on you. So that being said, back to my original challenge point. This is my challenge point. This week, see what happens when you keep your focus on God, keep your focus on Him, instead of trying to always just do it yourself. Ask Him, what should I do today? What should be my first thing that I get done today? Ask Him for guidance. He will straighten your paths. He will make your crooked paths straight, right? He will give us directions. He will order our steps. So ask Him before you get into a pickle, so to speak, or into some trouble, or before you get into a panic and you're like, uh-oh, now I'm afraid. Before that happens, trust Him. Ask Him for direction. Tell Him that you want Him to hang out with you all day today, and then do it. And see if that will help you stay calmer and keep your peace through the whole day, whatever the situation is. So that's my challenge to you. And as always, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe link so that you can get some more content, some more tips on mapping out your life success stories. If you would like to work with me, I am a Christian confidence coach. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, so I'm going to wrap this up by saying my name is Beth Brown. I am a Christian confidence coach. I work with both women and men on mapping out their personal and professional life success stories. So if you would like some support with mapping out your life success stories, your relationship success stories, then I'm putting the link below where you can connect with me, set up a time at your convenience for us to chat and see how I, as a confidence coach, can support you with being a woman or man who walks in success. All right. So have a great day and peace.